What's up guys, welcome back to another video, welcome back to another episode. As you guys can see here, we are both of the GRs and we are going to be continue rebuilding them today. As you guys can see, I do have both of the hoods popped, and basically what the reason for that is I'm kind of just comparing the differences. That's a good thing of having both of them kind of opposite damage, I guess you could say, because pretty much, so for the gray one right here, I'm kind of basing off that one what I will need to order for the blue one here. Very minor differences, as that one is a premium model. Like I said before, if you guys haven't checked out the other videos, you guys should definitely check them out. I would recommend you guys check them out so you guys are kind of up to date. But for this video today, we are actually going to be working on the gray car, just because we are still waiting for parts for the blue car. So while we wait for those, might as well work on the gray one. As you guys can see, there is some boxes right here too, so we do have some stuff to unbox, which is super exciting. Alright guys, so we actually did get 2 packages in the mail today, so we're gonna pretty much unbox these, and both of these parts should actually be for the gray car, which is super cool. So we're gonna be working on both cars back and forth, but while we wait for parts for the blue car, we are going to be working on that one. So let's go ahead and open up these boxes, see what's in here. So you guys can see, also I did open that box already, kind of just to make sure everything was here, because it's kind of like 2 orders in one, so obviously I do want to make sure that everything is there. Alright guys, jumping straight into the first one here. Go ahead and rip this box open. Hopefully nothing came damaged or anything, but the packaging does look pretty good. So obviously, if you guys can't tell what this should be the axle for the rear for the gray car. So you guys can kind of see here. I don't know how well it's picking it up on camera, but let's go ahead and take this out. Alright, here it is. So this side is what pretty much mounts to the diff, and then this side goes to the spindle. Looks to be good condition, no rips or anything. That's a good sign. We do have like a little dent right here, but that shouldn't affect anything. This side as well does look perfect. So we are going to be installing this hopefully in today's video. Now let's go ahead and open up that box. Alright, hopefully you guys can see good there. Let's go ahead and open it. This box is super heavy, so this one does have, so pretty much I did kind of take them out, all the suspension parts for the gray one. So lower control arm, upper control arm, the trailing arm. Let's go ahead and put this right here. Kind of going to show you guys what it looks like here. So you guys can see they kind of just wrapped them all up, which is super cool. All these parts are pretty much brand new. They are off a 2022. Most of them are GR86. Parts are pretty much compatible for both cars, other than the spindle. It is off a GR. So alright, as you guys can see here, lower control arm, good condition. Pretty dirty, but still usable, obviously. Looks good. And here's the upper control arm. Kind of stuck in the wrap right there, but so here's the upper control arm. Obviously good condition. Nice. We could just go ahead and reuse all the bolts right here. So good thing is all the bolts actually came on that car when we were working on it, or when I was actually bidding on the car. I didn't even know it had any of this, but you know, thankfully it did. So now I don't have to order the bolts, which will save me a lot of money. For some reason these bolts are super expensive. I remember on a previous car I was working on, I had to get the suspension bolt because I had a camber bolt by the previous owner. That bolt was $50 just for the bolt itself, bolt and the nut. Here's the last piece, so you guys can see perfect condition. And now let's open up the second part. So the second part I actually haven't even opened it really, kind of just inspected if it was here, make sure it was the right side obviously, and let's go ahead and open that up now. guys can see here, this is the spindle for the passenger side, so pretty cool. They gave us the e-brake as well, kind of just connect the axle right there, goes right on in. And we actually did have to buy this because I don't know if I showed you guys or not, but this part was actually cracked where the upper control arm mounts. It actually was cracked. So all right guys, you guys can see we finally got everything. This all right guys, as you guys can see, we did finally unbox everything. As you can see, the axle, the spindle, and all the control arm pieces. The suspension was all fully here, finally all in one piece, as you guys could see. So it does have like little dings right here, which honestly it's not a big deal. Our main focus is all of this, the components on the inside, and this parking brake. We do have one already in our car, so I'm actually gonna try to figure out how to remove it from this, and then go ahead and just connect the other one right in there. So like I said previously, this part was broken on our car right here, so we did have to get everything. And you know, obviously the side of the impact was this side, so we kind of just want to replace everything, make sure everything is fine. We don't want to find damage later. So as you guys can see, that's where the axle connects. And the axle honestly was super good condition, and it was used, but honestly it looks like new. Very little wear. I mean, pretty much all the parts on these cars are off GRs, so they shouldn't have more than, like, I would say 5,000 miles. These cars are still coming out, you know. And you guys could see upper control arm looks perfect. Nice. This is the piece that actually broke off on our car, which was the one that connects right up there. And the lower control arm as well broke off on our car, and then these two were severely damaged. So now we're gonna go ahead and show you guys the rear. Also, you guys were probably wondering why I did have the hoods up. Like I said before, pretty much just kind of comparing parts on what I will need to order. So I was kind of looking at this car, and I did notice all the bolts were actually still here for this car, which is super cool. So like you guys could see, it kind of just unclamped itself from right there. Did order the T-frame piece right here, the support, and then I'm getting a new rail for this. That means once that comes in, we are obviously going to disassemble all of this. Obviously we did get a new crash bar, got the bumper going on, so I'm super excited to finally get that ordered. As well as the radiators, we actually did end up buying a new radiator, complete support, because as I was looking in here, kind of judging on how far it went in, I did notice that the fans actually got stuck. I don't know if you guys could see that, but the fans don't move freely. And as well, you can see right here, I don't know if you guys can see right there, you guys can see it is broken, so that's pretty unfortunate. Same with this side, it is broken. The motors are probably good, but we got it all. We did just order everything just so we don't have to worry about anything. As you guys could, I'll go with this car, you guys can kind of see the fans right here. You see it just spins right up, so that's obviously what it had to do over there. Kind of figured, I mean honestly I didn't know how deep the damage was going to be, but you know, I figured why not just buy everything for the car and replace everything all at once, just kind of like what I did with this car. So I didn't really have to buy all of this, but I figured, you know, why not? It's a new car, we want to replace any kind of thing that was in the way of the damage or the accident. So did get all these parts. I'm excited to kind of put them on. And if you guys did miss the previous episode, we actually were working on this car, pretty much going just waiting for parts on the blue car. And pretty much when the parts do come in, we will be working on this car again. Like I said, our goal is to finish this car first because the damage is a little lighter and it's something more that we can work with compared to the gray car over there, which honestly the quarter panel is a little tougher to work with. As you guys can see, not anyone can kind of just touch the quarter panel and fix it, you know, or whatnot. It is a little more work, will require more body shop work, so we're gonna be working more on this one. That's the reason as well as why I bought two cars. Maybe people can be like, oh, you don't even work on it or whatnot, but I've got this car, so my plan for the blue car is I'm going to be working on it myself, maybe a little help from my friends or whatnot, but I do want to work on this car as much as I can by myself. And the gray car over there, I'm gonna leave most of the suspension work as much as I can to me, and then the rest obviously I will have to take it to the shop so they can fix the rest. For today's video, we actually are going to be working on the gray car, so let's go ahead and head over there and start disassembling. The first thing we could do is we could remove the lower control arm first. Then we'll go ahead and hop in the trunk, remove the last 2 bolts on the top. You guys can see here. So now lower control arm should just come right off with the spring. So let's go ahead and do that. So as you guys can see, here's the spring. The spring actually does seem to be in good condition. Just no damage on it at all. On the other side, the lower control arm obviously is gonna need to get replaced. You guys can see this thing pretty much snapped right off, and it is super bent right here, as you guys can see as well. Super bent, so that's not a problem. We got another one to replace it with, thankfully.